So people in Texas were just testing what was in the new snow that was on the ground. Aluminum, barium, strontium, lead, mercury, sulfur compounds, nitrogens, and pH. But guys, it gets so much worse, because what? Apparently, this woman kept posting this on the Instagram, and it kept getting taken down. These aren't trace elements. These are toxic chemical compounds known to harm the brain, nervous system, and environment. You're not crazy for asking questions. You're crazy if you stay silent. So people are basically questioning if this was in the snow on purpose. A lot of people are saying there's a lot of pollutants in snow, probably from factories and just cars and a bunch of things like that. Some people are saying like this is done on purpose, which that's a whole different story. People are simply just saying about that snow getting millions of views. But guys, what do y'all think about this? I just think it's crazy that it's literally a exact list of the most toxic things like mercury, lead. So don't eat snow anymore. So people in Texas were just testing with
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, GMS, that rule well and that teach well, and peace and salutations to you, hopeful elect, Akim, pushing this truth, waking up the rest of the elect throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth. All right, so Yahweh Shai can return. So Yahweh Shai can return and redeem us up on out of this wicked world, man. All right, because if the Lord doesn't shorten the days and save his elect, no flesh would be saved, man. Because this devil, okay, is going to pollute and destroy and, everything. Even the whole earth, man, even his own damn self. And there's not going to be no more life left on earth, man. Earth is going to literally go extinct. He's going to kill off all life. It's going to be 100% extinction of all life, man, if the Lord doesn't return and save his elect. All right, that's how disgusting, for lack of better words, that's how destructive, this so-called white man Esau Edom is. He will pollute and destroy the whole earth until he even destroys his own damn self, man. He's literally that mad scientist, evil mad scientist character that you see in these movies and cartoons, man. That evil villain, all right, that will destroy the whole earth, just nonsensically evil and wicked and villainous, That's who runs and controls the whole world right now, man. All right, the devil, and you've seen the TikTok of all the pollutants, heavy metals and toxins and whatnot that that's in the snow, man. And that this is in Texas. I live in Kansas. I'm just 1-2 states away from Texas, man. All right, not too far. The United States is a big country, All right, who knows? I'm pretty sure the same type of snow is being snowed over here in Kansas, Wichita, Kansas, man. I wouldn't be surprised, man. But yeah, man. You don't eat snow. Stay away from the snow. Because, they tested the snow and what's inside of it. And it's all these types of heavy metals and toxins and chemicals and whatnot, that could make you sick, hurt you, cause cancer and whatnot. All right. So, the snow is polluted, all right. And it makes sense. And I've, me speaking as a man and other brothers, can attest or speculate as well with what I'm about to say. But me speaking as a man, I feel like this snow is artificial, created in a lab or it's not, it's not, how do you say it? It is man-made snow, geo-engineered. Because, the so-called white man, all right, he in his HARP device technology, all right, geoengineering, All right. Engineering, man. All right. He controls the weather. He could control the weather to an extent and make it snow or rain. All right. Or hail fire or whatever, in a place that he wants. All right. Wherever he wants, man. If he wants it to flood or rain a lot, rain for 12 days straight in one spot. Hey, the so-called white man has the ability to do that, man. All right. And hey, man, like I feel like these past years, all right, I don't know how long, but hey, this snow, all right, I look at the snowflakes. It don't look like normal snowflakes, man. Because we all know what a snowflake looks like, man. All right, let's look it up. It's lucky my phone is slow. Let me delete some tabs. Did not want to delete that one, darn it. Snowflakes. All right, this is what a snowflake looks like, man. Okay, God. All right, a snowflake created by Yahweh Shem Yahushai, by the Lord. Okay, and when you really, squint your eyes and like, look at the snow from, at a close distance. All right, it's supposed to look like this. All right, see. If you look up closely, if you got some good vision, which I do, all right, even after all the stupid shit I used to do, to my body concerning smoking and whatnot, messing up my eyes and shit, I still got some good vision, but my eyes aren't aligned perfectly. But even then, I still got some good vision for right now. I could see the snowflakes, and the snowflakes right now, I was looking at the snow when it was snowing last week. And it did not look like this at all. All right, it was, it didn't look like this. It looked like a line, Okay, it didn't look like this. It looked like, I can't explain it, like, not blades, but like wood shavings. Yeah. Like splinters, wood shavings and whatnot, but in the form of snow, They didn't look like this, And hey, I feel like every time I'm outside around the snow and whatnot, I like or breathe in the cold air, like I got a cough, I feel sick, Because yesterday I was out there prophesying. I wasn't talking that much, Yeah, I was reading here and there, but it wasn't even that. It wasn't even windy. It had a little 5 to 7 degree, mile per hour wind, which ain't shit, It was 40 degrees. It probably felt like 45. The sun was out. But hey, we were around the snow. There was snow around us, but it wasn't snowing, But I felt good, everything was good. But the longer we were out there, like I had a cough, my throat it wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad at all. But I had a cough, like the whatever the chemicals or whatever's in the snow was affecting my my respiratory. My lungs, all right. And how do you say it? When it was snowing hella bad last week, hey, I was sick, and it made me more sick every time I went outside, man, even when it was windy or not, that cold air or whatever's in the snow was making me like cough, and I just wanted to go inside, I feel it in my chest, I'm like, is that my chest muscles all tight and shit like that, or is that like my lungs, or is that my heart or something like that, or am I getting pneumonia? Like I couldn't tell, because hey, sometimes I hit the gym, but it couldn't have been my pec muscles, my chest muscles, because I wasn't working out at that time because I was too sick. I was getting off a stomach flu, and I couldn't eat, and I stopped working out for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, so it couldn't have been my muscles right there. So it had to been my chest, like my lungs or something. And I was coughing the whole time, every time it was nighttime I had a cough. But what got me through it was obviously prayer, fasting, eating right, eating healthy. And I was drinking these teas for respiratory health, man, all right. And I was drinking and eating a lot of anti-mucus, all right, fighting foods, whole foods like pineapple, kale, and whatnot, high vitamin C. Kale has a lot of vitamin C. I'd be drinking green kale smoothies with banana and whatnot, make it sweet, mango kale smoothies, and that's what got me whole and feeling better, because, hey, Hakim, the Lord, as much toxins and death and pollution that's around us, that this fucking white man, puts on us and around us, hey, the Lord, gives us a way of escape by way of his medicines, his, because talking about, the herbs of the field, the plants, fruits and vegetables, the herbs, the teas, all right, put it in tea form and whatnot, man, all right. Don't go to the damn hospital. I mean, if, sometimes you have to go to the doctor, all right, but, I only go to the doctor just to see, just to find out, what the hell's wrong with me, if I can't tell, what's wrong with me, I don't take no pills, no pills. I don't even like doing the over the counter Walmart or wherever, pharmaceutical drugs, commercial over the counter drugs, especially not no under the counter drugs, all right. Only if it's really bad, but hey, even then, I go to the herbs, all right. Black seed oil, what's some good stuff, rosemary, all right, thyme, eat a garlic clove every day if you're really sick, ginger, your bitter herbs, all right, kale, kale, I love kale, man, because it, obviously not for the taste, but it's healthy, man, high vitamin C, and the green, the chlorophyll that's in there. All right, spinach, broccoli. I'm just naming off some healthy stuff. And then the fruits, man, berries. All right, and try to get all this stuff organic if you can. All right. What else? The omega-3s like sardines and salmon, but make sure you get it wild caught. What else? And don't shy away from meat either, but make sure that it's grass-fed, grass-finished, pasture-raised, if you can, because, hey, that's expensive. But there's some places, local meat marts, and meat markets, and sometimes you can find a good deal on some healthy meat, that's grass-fed, grass-finished, and pasture-raised chickens and eggs and whatnot. All right, stay away from that processed stuff, man, like chips and deep fried foods, man. That's just going to make you even more sick. Even if you're not sick, it's going to get you sick, But anyway, back on topic, man. The snow, it was not looking like this, all right? Because I actually, looked at the snow, okay? It was not looking, the snowflakes did not look like this. And you could, hey, if you got some good eyesight, if you look really closely at the snow, you'll see the snowflakes, man. All right, you'll see a snowflake. Sometimes, the snowflakes are big because, see, they're different sizes. Sometimes, you actually see a big snowflake. And, hey, I didn't see no snowflake, all right, last week. None of them look like this. They, like I said, they look like not stringy, but like wood shavings, but in the form of snow. That's the best description I could give you, And hey, man, and I felt sick every time I was around the snow, It made me, I got a little reaction, in my lungs, and that, hey, that makes sense because they said they were finding all those chemicals and heavy metals and toxins in there, makes sense. All right. What is this one? No. This is Isaiah 24:3. It says, the land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled. Okay, hear that? Spoiled. For the Lord has spoken this word. All right, verse 4 says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. the haughty people of the earth do languish, okay? You know, people dying, all right, cultures dying, heritages being extinguished, okay? Animals going extinct, vegetables and fruits and plants you don't see no more. They don't grow as big as anymore. You know, you don't see bugs, certain types of insects around anymore. You know that the world is languishing. All right, it's fading away. You know, because of the so-called white man polluting it. You know, misusing the earth. Not taking care of the earth like he should, like the Lord, gave him the power to do so. But hey, the Lord created the white man, Esau, Edom, to be the destroyer. All right, the waster. That's what Esau means. Wasted away is he. Verse 5, it says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Okay, you hear that? The earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. All right, and who's what inhabitants of people, what group of people and population of people rule the earth? Okay, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And what are they doing to the earth? They're polluting it. They're defiling the earth. The snow is defiled, polluted, because they have transgressed the laws. All right, they're not keeping the ways of the Lord. All right, they keep tilling the ground, not giving the earth rest. That's why their fruits and vegetables and produce aren't getting as big and nutritious anymore, man. The Lord, commanded us to give the earth a rest after the seventh year. Give the earth a rest. Let it chill for a year. Change the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. All right, therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. Matthew 24 and 22. I roughly paraphrase this precept earlier. It says, except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Slakia. Was it verse 21? No, I brought out this precept because, hey, the Lord is speeding up time, all right? And for the elect's sake, the Lord is shortening the days, man, all right? Or no flesh is going to be saved. This devil's going to pollute the whole earth, and destroy everything that's in it, all life, Revelation 11 and 18. Now, let's get this one first. Micah 2 and 10, it says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Okay, this kingdom, this life right now that we're living, this time period ruled by the so-called white man. All right, this society, this kingdom ruled by the white man. This is not our rest. This is not our time to be living it up, time to be, relaxing and building and no, this is not the kingdom of heaven. This is our captivity, This is not our rest. It says, because it is polluted. Look at the snow, man. Okay? It's polluted. Look at the oceans. Look at the air, Look at the people around you. Look at the animals. Look at the food, Everything's polluted, man. Look at the bottled water. It's polluted. Everything's polluted here, man. The fish, all right? The fish is polluted with mercury. The sea creatures are polluted with mercury, because of all the toxins and shit. The oceans are polluted, because this devil just dumps toxic waste and sewage water in it, Oil spills everywhere. All right, the air is polluted because of all the CO2 gas coming out of these damn cars. All right, on a high level, etc. It says it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. That's why the Lord that's why the Lord is going to shorten the days, and he's doing it right now for the elect's sake. All right, because no flesh will be saved. All right. Even the elect would die. Even Esau, Edom would die, man. The whole earth will go extinct if the Lord doesn't return soon, and save his elect and destroy and put these heathens under subjection, as our slaves, and stop ruling the earth and polluting the earth, Revelation 11:18, it says, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Okay, that goes perfectly with what I just said. Hey, the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to return, all right, redeem his elect, make us immortals, and give us the power and the authority to rule over the earth and over these heathens, all right, to establish the laws and the commandments, and the ways of the Lord on earth, and put these heathens under our feet and make them our slaves and work for us, man. All right. The whole earth will be ruled in righteousness instead of wickedness. Okay. Therefore, we're going to destroy them that are destroying the earth right now, man. Okay. That's what's going to happen when the Lord returns. All right. The end of this kingdom is going to be over with. And the power seat and the power is going to be transferred to the righteous, like the scriptures say. One kingdom, is transferred or given to another. All right, another people, man. All right, roughly paraphrasing. So I hope this was edifying to the elect.